Hi, folks. This is Coach Earl. I'm just going to get things started here. I think we might have a few people dial in a little bit late, but I want to get things rolling so we don't waste anyone's time and make this pretty quick so we can talk about mental prep and talk about getting you ready to go race. So let me make sure we're recording everything, make sure that we've got everything on the screen, and make sure that we can see. So it says on air showing screen, which means that you can see my screen. It says recording, so I'm assuming we're recording. I've been left alone by our lovely staff today to run this. So if there's questions or comments or any of those things, I would ask you to please either raise your hand or, of course, send a question in. You can ask a question right through the program. But today's focus is on mental prep. I know that we are getting towards the end here. We've got only a few more weeks before race day. 3 more weeks, actually. And as I said in my last email, the cool thing is we've got a race on Saturday and a race on Sunday. So I'm going to be spending 2 days sitting in front of the tracker, trying to see our folks and see how you guys get through race day. But what's fun about a day like today and a conversation like this is that, with only 3 weeks left, we're in a really great place. We're in a place where the physical work is just about done, and it is time for us to focus primarily on the mental side of racing. So you've got a few more brick workouts to get through. You've got a few more logistical things that we want to focus on, and we will have a logistics meeting next. But most importantly, it's time to get our head in the game. Very simple. I mean, everybody knows how important it is, and you always hear, we read quotes all the time about being in the game, getting our head in the game, and all of those things. So I want to talk you through a little bit of the stuff that I've seen and some of the important things and conversations I've had with folks over the years as we get ready to race day. So let's get started. Mental prep, tricks and trials. Let me run us through here. So the simple question, and I know that this is the question you're getting all the time. I see it on Facebook. I see it in your emails. I see everything. It's that horrible question we all get, are you ready to race? So that's the question we want to answer, and it's the question we all get nervous about. So the simple answer here is, are you ready? I want you to say yes. Say yes. Don't think about it. Every time somebody answers that question, say yes. And here's why. Okay? What is mental preparation? A triathlon is the combination of the 3 sports of swimming, biking, and running. Racing, an Ironman or a half Ironman, is your ability to problem solve throughout a long day of swimming, biking, and running. We're physically ready for anything. If I told you tomorrow to walk out your front door and go swim 1.2 miles, go ride your bike for 56 and run 13.1, just as a regular day, it would be easy. There's no pressure. Nobody's watching. Nobody's looking at times. Nothing's being recorded. There's no timing chip, nothing. So you could do it. So why is race day so much more challenging? Well, that's the real question here. It's not. Physically, it's not more challenging. It's the mental side of it that is. So what we want out of your mental preparation, we want to put it all together on race day. We want to believe. Why do we want it? I do love this quote, and again, we'll talk about quotes. Nothing can stop the man or woman with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. So let's go back to that question. Are you ready? Oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe. Oh, if I make it through the swim, then the rest of the day will be okay. Those are not the right answers. The right answer is yes, I'm ready. I've put in the time. I'm ready. They're not asking you what your time is. Nobody's asking you what you're going to do, how you're going to place, what are you going to do. They're asking, are you ready? Yes, you're ready. That's the answer every single time, and that's what we're looking for. That's why you've been training. Joe Friel, who's a very well-known triathlon coach, and he's been doing this for years, and someone that I look up to as a coach. He says the mental aspect is an area that many athletes can improve on. There are many aspects of sports psychology, the most important of which are confidence, motivation, concentration, and relaxation. I just sat and had a conversation for a little bit with an athlete of mine just now, 5 minutes ago, and the conversation was, once you put your head down and you get your head between those arms, between those aero bars on the bike, I don't want you to be able to see me. I want you to be thinking about you. Think about executing your race. So these are the four kind of key principles that we're going to talk about today: confidence, motivation, concentration, and relaxation. Confidence is simple: believing in oneself and one's powers or abilities. Self-confidence, self-reliance, assurance. Where can you find it? You can find it in your training. You can find it in your skills that you've developed over this course of the course of this training period. How can you find it? And this is something that's really great. These are tools that I want you to use right now. You can go and review your training. Go to your Training Peaks file. See the workouts that you've done. Identify the successful workouts. See what you've done that you didn't think you could do before. If you're still doubting your ability to finish this race, think about how you felt before you did, that long ride for the first time, or you did that long brick. You felt the same way, but you accomplished it. If you didn't accomplish it, you learned from it, and that took you one step closer to finishing this race. So go back into that log. Go back into what you've done. Talk to your spouse, your friend, the person that you talked to before you did that long workout. Ask them about it. They'll tell you you were nervous. Now you should be confident. Another area of confidence is knowing your plan. We will talk about race planning. We'll have another webinar. You're going to get a lot of me in the next 2 or 3 weeks, folks. But we're going to talk about knowing your race plan. And that's something that's important to understand and to visualize. See your race before you do your race. That's very important. Motivation is simple: to incite or impel, to have something to do. Where can you find the motivation? It's the why, the who, the goals. Why did you sign up for this in the first place? Whatever your motivation was to sign that dotted line, to join this team, to go out and sign up for this race, that is still valid. That why is still a valid goal. No matter what's happened in between, it's still a valid goal. So you need to think about that and focus on that as you go forward. It could be a who. It could be that you're doing this for a loved one. You're doing this to focus on yourself. You're doing this for your own personal goals. These are things that motivate. If not, you can use Smile Train and look at these kids that are going to benefit from everything you've done. Look at the smiles that you've created. And I know that at this point you've heard the word smile probably so many times, but it's incredible the work that you do. And with Smile Train, we sat in a meeting yesterday with all of the people from all around the world, and who run the hospitals, and from Africa and India and the Philippines. And it was absolutely amazing to see the work that they do. And this is work that you're helping to fund, and you're doing. So look, if that's your motivation, if you're out there and you're struggling on race day and you need something to motivate you, think about the smile. If you put a smile on your face, I'm telling you, your race will go faster. You can find this through writing, talking, reading. Write your goals down. Write down who you're doing this for. You don't have to show it to anybody. You put it in your pocket. You put it in your transition bag. You can write it on your wrist before you dive into the water. But know what it's going to be, and know what is going to motivate you. But keep it simple. If it's for Smile Train, write for Smile Train. If it's for my wife, write for my wife. If it's for your friend, write for Bob. Whatever it takes, write it down. Concentration. I think this is a picture of me in school. But the exclusive attention to one object, a close mental application. You can find it in your goals, you can find it on the course, and you can find it also just in the execution of what you're doing. So find that focus in riding your bike. Find it in the execution of a perfect pedal stroke. Find it in counting your strides. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I can tell you, I did a race once, a swimming race, where I misjudged the distance, and I made a turn, and I looked up, and it looked like it was miles until the end. And I was exhausted. I'd paced wrong, and all I did was count my strokes. And I can tell you, to this day, I know that I counted 287 strokes to the end of that race, and it was never ending. And it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But it got me through, and it kept me on pace, and it kept my cadence smooth, and it kept me moving. The other thing I always like to say is to chase rabbits. Chasing rabbits. If you see one person up ahead of you they want to chase, it could be that, during the bike portion, I'm going to chase the color blue, and anybody that's wearing a blue jersey, I'm going to try to chase them and try to follow them and try to pass them. It could be on the run portion. I want to switch it up. I'm going to chase anybody that's wearing the color yellow. And those are your focuses. It's amazing how the slightest little trick of the mind can help you stay focused through the race. So give that one a shot. Try it. I mean, you can also focus on the red, white, and blue jerseys of the Smile Train folks and see if you can chase your teammates. That's one of the cool things about being on a team. Concentration is really key, and bringing yourself back to focus is one of the challenges. Relaxation, the abatement or relief from bodily or mental work, effort, or application. This is the worst thing in the world when somebody says, oh, just relax. Nobody likes to hear that. Just relax, just relax. So it's hard, but the place you can find it is in your hotel. You know, it's being in a structured and organized atmosphere. A lot of the relaxation is lost when we're unable to make decisions or indecisive about things. I don't know, what time should we go to lunch? I don't know. I think we should go to lunch there, but maybe that place is too crowded. I don't know. What do you guys think about pasta for dinner? Or we should go to the seafood place. Please don't go to the seafood place. But you know, those types of things that make it indecisive during the week or the days leading up to the actual race also cause an issue out on the race course. You know, should I be going this hard? Should I go this? Should I? What's my pace? What's my effort? Should I take a drink now or should I not? You know your plan. Know what you want to do. Visualize what's going to happen and how it lays out in front of you. If you can do that and you can put those pieces in place, you can really have a major impact in de-stressing your day. You know, relaxation is a result of confidence. When I'm confident in my pacing, I can relax into my stride because I feel better. So all of these things do build upon each other, and they lead to good racing. And all these things are, like I said, they're personal. So you've got to find the triggers for each one of these things in yourselves, and you know it. You've been out there on a long workout. You've been out there and you've had to use these tools in the past. So try to find them and put them to work for yourself. So a quick schedule of your mental anguish. I always love this, and this is my favorite picture of all time. The strong brain. You know, so here's a little quick little review. Here's the questions. You know, so are you ready? The answer is simple. Yes, I am. Said in well, of course I am tone. Of course I'm ready. Yes. Don't be silly. I'm a Smile Train person. I'm ready. The question is, so what's your goal? So now the answer here is I'm going to swim X, I'm going to ride X, and I'm going to run X. And say it with confidence. You know this, there's no guessing games here. This isn't one of these things where, well, I might swim 40 minutes, I might swim 2 hours. It's not like that. These are the things that leave room open in your brain, and they take away your confidence. You're going to say, I'm going to swim 30 minutes. You may swim faster, you may swim slower, but you're going to go and try to swim 30 minutes. That's your goal. You're going to ride 3 hours and 10 minutes. That's your goal. And you're going to go out there and you're going to be pacing yourself to do that. If the wind's at your back, you may ride a lot faster. If the wind's at your face, you might ride slower. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you can clearly say, this is what I'm going to do. Now, here's the situation. I feel cranky and I feel sore and I feel out of shape. Now, here's the reality. You're in the best shape of your life, but you've slowed your training pace down. You know, we're giving you a little bit of a break. We're giving you a little bit of rest. Your body is doing a ton of work rebuilding and making you stronger. The best, I always told the story of, you know, when the taper comes, all these little miners come out and they got little mining hats and pickaxes and they look like Lego people and they all walk around in your veins and your muscles and they're sitting there and they're doing all the work. They're rebuilding it. So the work of rebuilding your muscles is happening and that's making you feel a little bit sluggish. It's because they're clearing it out and they're doing all the damage. So what they're doing is when they do this construction and they rebuild, they got to clear all the other stuff out. And what that does is makes you feel kind of rotten for a little bit, but it's a good thing. It's why you feel funny. But as that rebuild happens, the timing is right. You mix that funny feeling and that out of sync feeling. It's like a chemical reaction. Mix that with the anxiety and the excitement of race day, and it creates an incredible feeling. And that's the taper. That's that feeling on race day. That's the excitement. It doesn't mean the race is going to be easier. It doesn't mean it's not going to hurt, but it means it's going to feel good when you're ready to go. Now, here's the other situation. I have so much to do, and this is normal. You're either traveling to a race, you've got to pack for a race, you've got family coming to the race, you've got people, things, all these things that you need to do. If you can map out your to-do items a week in advance and stick to your schedule, you're going to have a really solid day out there. Stick to the schedule is really the key thing. That's the most important thing here. All right, let's see what's next. All right, next thing, race weekend. The night before the race, the situation, I can't sleep. Face it, you're not going to sleep. It's not going to happen. For most of us, we want to sleep the night before. So you want to sleep on Friday night, and so because you know you're not going to sleep on Saturday. So get a good night's sleep on Friday, but it also just means that your body is preparing itself for something big. Not a bad thing. It's part of the fun. Spend the time staring at the ceiling and visualizing what you're going to do on race day. The situation. I have a nervous belly. The only way to handle that is scope out the Porta-John pre-race, get a sense of where they are. There's always a super secret one somewhere, usually around mile 1 of the run course. That's always empty. So get to transition early and head to the race start before the lines start to build. Give yourself confidence that you're going to be okay and you're going to get it right, and it'll be good. And the mental talk. This is one of the hardest situations to deal with. It might rain. What if a bear runs out on the course? What if the person in front of me decides to pee on the bike? What happens this? What if? Control the things you can and release the things that you cannot. This is how it works on race day. So you've got to let yourself go. You can control what will happen around you. You control the way you react to it. So if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. So ride your bike the way you would normally when it rains. If it's going to be hot and humid, make sure that you're prepared for it. You know what to do. Put ice in your head, put ice in your shirt. Prepare yourself. Make sure you understand all the ways that you can handle and react to those things. Out on the course. I love this kid. This is my favorite kid on the internet. He's everywhere. Indicators of a mental lapse. So there's definitely some things that you'll see that are going to indicate that you're starting to fade a little bit. So your brain starts to talk too much. Your brain starts to fade a little bit. You are hangry. You're frustrated. Hangry. That's the idea of your being. You're hungry and you're angry. So I know how this happens, and this happens a lot. You're frustrated with every crack in the road, every bit of wind, and you're frustrated with that guy that just passed you wearing a Spider-Man costume, or the girl who ran by you in the tutu. These are things that would not normally get you too frustrated. They might actually even make you laugh out there on the course. But it's very likely that you're simply hungry and you need some food. So recommendation, that's your chance as the sirens go by in New York City, which I'm sure you can hear. It's very likely that you're hungry and you need some food. So dip into your goo, give yourself 5 minutes, and then see if the same things are still bugging you. All right? Now, this is the one that we're always nervous about. When you sit there and you say, I'm done. I'm just finished. I can't take it anymore. You doubt that you can finish. You doubt that you are going fast enough. You don't think you're going to make it through. But that's not the case. I'll tell you simply, you're wrong. Give yourself small goals, small little places. Get to the next mile marker. Get to the next fence in the road. Count your swim strokes. You're going to get buoy to buoy. It's little things like that that are going to help you kind of trick yourself to keep going. One of the best things I've ever done in a race is I simply followed somebody that was next to me. They passed me and I just latched onto them and I just wouldn't let go of them until they got me where I needed to go. And it only lasted half a mile, but it was just enough to kind of get me back into the race and get moving again. We used to play the license plate game, where you look for people from different countries. So you do the same thing. You look for different tri-kits and you try to read the tri-kits. This person's from that tri-club, this person's from that tri-club. There's a Smile Train person. These are the things that you can do to lift your spirits and keep you moving. It sounds like a lot of stuff. It sounds like a lot of things are going to happen out there. But the truth is, these are little things that over the course of the day, they will happen. And it's the idea. It's like an 8-hour day. If you're out there for anywhere from, if you're 4 hours, if you're a pro triathlete, you're out there for 4 hours. If you're out there for 8 hours and you're the last person on the course, it's a full day. A lot's going to happen. So prepare yourself for it. So I'm going to end our little presentation here, and I'm quick because, I want to make sure that we don't waste your time. We want you to be prepared, and we want to keep things simple. We go back to the same question we asked earlier, and I'm hoping that what I'm going to get is a resounding yes. We want to hear you say, are you ready? And I want you to say, yes, I am ready, because I'm going to post this on Facebook, and I'm going to ask you guys all to answer. And I'm going to ask you guys the same question every day for the next 3 weeks. And I want to hear you say it every time. I want to hear you say yes, yes, yes. Like I said, I'm very excited about what you're going to do. And here's a couple of great things that I little articles that I think are great. These are fun. Numbers 1 and 2, very fun and very enjoyable things. The pre-race mental prep blog is a great It's a blog post, which comes from Joe Friel and comes from Training Peace, which I think is excellent. And changing your mindset is a TEDx presentation, if you're familiar with TEDx, from a friend of mine, Allie Crum. She's a phenomenal triathlete. She actually, I think she was the #1 amateur overall winner at the St. George Half Ironman 2 years ago. And I think she just won another race recently. But she's she's a sports psychologist and a professor at Stanford and a friend of ours. And she just is absolutely brilliant. And I love this little YouTube that she's done. It really helps you kind of think about, how to change your mindset when you're out there, because that's another big part of race day. So I think that's it. I'm going to wrap things up. I'm pretty quick today. If you guys have questions, I'd encourage you to please ask them, especially as we get closer. The most important thing is, if you're doing this distance for the first time, if you have questions, going in with a clear and uncluttered mind is really important. So if we can help you get there by answering questions, whether it's where to put my bib, what do I do with my bike, all those little things, or simply what's something that could be my mantra. If you need help finding those things, give me a call, shoot me an email. Let's make some time and make sure that we make it happen. All right. So that is it for today. I'm going to end our webinar right here, and I'm hoping to hear from you guys in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much.